Talking to you now, and obviously with the background that you have, you would assume that you were religious from the beginning, but were you always a religious man?
I got taken to Sunday school when I was a kid, dragged along more like it, and that, I didn't really want to go and that, but when I look back now, it was a blessing because it put seeds into my life.
And what was life like for you growing up in Newcastle?
Well, it was very rough life and that, and I had a happy first 5 years of life really, and with my adopted family, and we have a death hit the family when I was about 5 years old. 5 members of the family died in quick succession, which left a massive hole in my life, and as a result, my dad sort of lost his faith in that, and started drinking quite heavily, and I followed suit. 7-year-old drinking bottles of whiskey and vodka, getting out of my head. I started getting locked up before my 10th birthday, which is, and my life spiraled out of control really, and I was very angry at the world after the way my circumstances were and that, and became a product of my environment really.
As things obviously went on, everything escalated as you grew up. Was there ever a point that you felt like you'd almost taken things too far?
Well, I suppose in my life I worked with all the main players from all the different cities, and I worked with people in London, people in Manchester, people in Glasgow, and obviously I was part of the firm in Newcastle. As I grew older, they controlled the region's drug scene things and that, I was part of that firm. And my life was a mess, and it was going nowhere, and that, I started to search for answers. Why am I here and all this sort of stuff and that, and looked at Eastern religions, which was a bit strange for a Geordie. I looked at things like Buddha, the little fat Java with the baldy head. I started looking at things like Buddhism and things like that, and just searching for answers to my own problems and addictions, because I was a drug addict, I was an alcoholic, and a very, very, very violent man, so. Well, on 16th of August 1995, I picked up a Bible that was somebody left in the house, and I opened it at the 23rd Psalm, "The Lord is my shepherd," and something inside me just started crying out for Jesus, and I said, "Lord God, help us if I didn't really know how to pray anything like that, but I just sort of said, Jesus, if you're really there and you can help me, then I'll serve you." And I had a response. The Lord came to us, blew my mind away completely. The Lord turned up, and it instantly took away from us 16-year drug addiction, 20-year alcohol addiction, and the anger and the violence that I felt inside, and that just went, gone, never returned. And I felt the most beautiful peace I've ever felt in my life, just flowing through us. I've had every drug on the planet, and it's like nothing like this, And at that moment, I knew I was forgiven. I knew I was born again. I became a church minister already in 1999, but I started to travel the world and that. And so I travelled to around 38 countries. Not just that, I started to do, when the newspapers found out I'd become a front page of the Chronicle, News of the World, face was splashed up, because I was notorious because I knew everybody. And the thing is, people didn't believe somebody like me could become a Christian. I even ended up on programmes like Songs of Praise. I think the only BBC programme I'd done before that was Crime Watch, And, God used the story very powerfully to turn many away from crime, drugs, gang life, all that sort of thing.
Do you believe anyone is ever beyond saving?
Don't believe there's anybody beyond saving. I just simply know that because especially when I go into the prisons, it's always the least. These guys, some of them are like very notorious household names. They might always not want to follow the way, but you find that many of the most notorious people, they've got faith in God.